Hello and welcome to this open access overview aimed at new members of academic staff and postgraduate research students joining us at Coventry University. My name is Thomas Jenkins, Open Access Officer, and I'm based in the Research and Scholarly Publications team, which in normal circumstances is based on the third floor of the Lanchester Library. In this brief 10-minute or so presentation, I'm going to cover the following. Firstly, some quick definitions around different types of open access and different types of journals. Second, I will go over the main tenets of the REF 2021 Open Access Policy and the university's own open access policy. If you are joining us from another UK HEI, you may already be familiar with the REF policy. I will also look at the local context at Coventry and the routes to compliance. Third, I will touch on the open access terms which may apply where research has been funded by a research funder, such as a UK Research Council. Firstly, routes to open access. Gold open access is where the final publication is freely available in perpetuity from the publisher. Generally, we would expect publications falling under this definition to be published under a reuse license, such as those offered by Creative Commons. For gold open access, a fee known as an APC, article processing charge, may be levied by the publisher. There are some open access journals and publishers which don't charge APCs to publish with them. These are known as diamond or platinum open access journals. These terms are used interchangeably. The second route to open access compliance, green open access, is where the final publication sits behind a publisher subscription paywall, but where the accepted manuscript, also known as the postprint, is archived and made available through a repository, either an institutional or subject-based one. Bronze open access is where the final publication is made freely available by the publisher, but where there is no guarantee of it remaining openly available in perpetuity. The publisher may be making content open for promotional purposes for a time-limited period, for instance. Bronze open access, therefore, does not constitute an approved route for compliance with the university, REF, or other research funder open access policies. In terms of different journal types, broadly speaking, there are three. Open access journals exclusively publish open access content. Some operate on a commercial basis and levy APCs on authors who publish with them. Others may be not-for-profit or derive funding from other sources and so may not charge APCs. A well-known example of an open access journal is the mega journal PLOS ONE. Hybrid journals publish a mixture of open access and subscription-only content. The journals operated by many major publishers have now switched to this model. Finally, there are then subscription-only journals which don't offer an article-by-article open access option. There are increasingly few publications like this, and they will primarily be published by smaller, more specialist publishers. The main open access policy which it's important that researchers be conscious of is the REF open access policy. This applies to publication outputs in journals and conference proceedings which form part of a series. The policy covers in-scope outputs which have been accepted for publication since the 1st of April 2016. The main aspect of the policy to remember is that the accepted manuscript version of outputs covered by the policy should be uploaded to an appropriate repository, which in our case is the University Pure system, within 3 months of the date of acceptance. Whether the manuscript can become available at the time of publication or not depends upon the publisher's policy. There is allowance within the REF open access policy for publishers to require embargo periods between the date an article is published to the date the accepted manuscript version can be made publicly available. The REF policy permits 12-month embargoes for REF panels A and B, which typically covers STEM, disciplines and medicine, and 24 months for panels C and D, which typically cover social sciences and arts and humanities. Outputs which have been published Gold Open Access, with the final publication freely available from point of publication under a Creative Commons reuse license, are automatically deemed to be compliant. There are some exceptions which can apply. For example, outputs which were published prior to you joining Coventry University can have an exception applied to them. This is something our team, the Research and Scholarly Publications team, will check for and implement whilst performing our work in Pure. The accepted manuscript version, which needs to be uploaded within 3 months of acceptance, is that which reflects changes made as a result of the peer review process at the point of formal acceptance, but comes prior to the publisher proof version, where publisher typesetting and branding is added. Where this document sits within the publication cycle is demonstrated by this representation, put together by the University of Cambridge. The university then has its own open access standard, which first came into effect in 2015, and is designed in part to reinforce the REF policy and promote good practice at the university. For authors who are not being returned for REF, such as postgraduate research students and staff employed on teaching-only contracts, the terms of the University Open Access Standard still apply. The standard consists of 7 requirements that Coventry University researchers are expected to satisfy. Information on these 7 requirements, with supporting guidance, is available on our Open Access LibGuide, libguides.coventry.ac.uk/RSP/open access. In terms of the local context at Coventry, our default approach is to promote open access via the green route, which involves publishing in subscription journals and the timely archiving of the accepted manuscript onto our Pure system. With regard to funds for gold open access, the only centrally held funds are a block grant provided for the use of UK Research Council funded authors. More on this shortly. At the time of recording, we do have several agreements in place with major publishers. Some of these offer discounted rates on open access article processing charges, others provide the option of being able to publish open access without the need to pay an article processing charge at all. For more detail on which publishers the university has open access agreements in place with, please see our LibGuide, which is kept updated, specifically the tab entitled Publisher Open Access Deals. Alternatively, please feel free to get in touch with us directly. Please note that this is a dynamic area, and so it is always worth checking back to our LibGuide for any developments. Do also bear in mind that not all open access journals charge publication fees. A good starting point if you are seeking out open access journals in your discipline, who may not charge you to publish with them, is the Directory of Open Access Journals, or DOAJ for short. If you are in receipt of research funding from an external body such as UK Research and Innovation, which oversees the UK Research Councils, the Wellcome Trust, Horizon 2020, NIHR, etc., then you will probably already be aware that your funder will have their own open access policy, which may relate to publications and research data. The open access policies of research funders tend to be more onerous than the REF open access policy, in terms of how quickly an open access version needs to become accessible and the license the open access document is made available under. Different funders will have different approaches in terms of funds available to support publishing via the Gold open access route and how these funds are accessed. For more information, please see our Open Access LibGuide. From our LibGuide, you will also find the RCUK Block Grant application form. for funded authors eligible to access this fund, which is administered centrally by our team in the library. If you are in receipt of research funding and are unsure about the details of your funder's open access policy and how to comply, or if you have any other related queries, please get in touch with our team. oa.lib@coventry.ac.uk is our email address for open access to publication queries, and rdm.lib@coventry.ac.uk is our email address for research data management queries.